Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We are together today to take a look at assistive technology for remote teaching and learning. This webinar has been put together by Imperial County SELPA. I am Vanessa Lopez, and I am joined by
Tiffany Claverie.
Good morning, everybody. Today's resources have been archived on a Padlet. You may access that Padlet by scanning this QR code or by entering the bit.ly link that you see below on the screen, or by clicking directly from our slide. When you access our Padlet, you will see that we have organized content by how-to videos, today's presentation, and additional resources we find will be useful to you, including a rubric on selecting apps to determine whether they will be useful for students, teachers, or families. I have also included a slide that has access to the Imperial County SELPA website. You can access by scanning the QR code, clicking on the link below. You will find that we have information that is related specifically to COVID-19 updates, but also all of the other resources Imperial County SELPA has to offer. If you look at the yellow banner up at the top, we have resources for staff serving students with disabilities, as well as resources for families of students with disabilities, including 2 links to visit zoos virtually and museums as well. Currently, it is important to recognize where we are as it relates to both teaching and learning. We are becoming more and more acutely aware of the needs that our students are facing while learning remotely from home. We have to consider that some of our students require additional supports that we would typically provide for them in the classroom that are no longer readily available to them. In sourcing materials to support students, it's also critical that we remember that we should not overwhelm with choice, or we run into danger of feeling overwhelmed by the variety of resources available. One of the purposes for today's webinar is to help focus our efforts into 2 or 3 resources that will be most helpful, not just for students, but for us as teachers and for the family members that are now supporting them as they tackle academic tasks from home. Remote teaching and learning requires us to consider the needs of students that are having difficulty, not just with learning, but also with language needs. If we consider all learners, from the why, the what, and the how of learning, the more learners we will reach. That is the basis for universal design for learning. And we know that it is going to be important for all students to have multiple entry points as it relates to engagement, representation, and action and expression. So let's explore. As I mentioned earlier, we are focusing on some tools that are already available for students that might be having some difficulty with accessing academic content or tasks that they are working with from home. Control-Alt-Achieve's blog post on Chrome extensions for struggling students with special needs from Eric Curtis gives a listing of a variety of tools that are available for students, including tools that focus on text-to-speech, readability, reading comprehension, focus, and navigation. You can access this article by scanning the QR code or by entering the bit.ly link into your internet browser. Now Tiffany's going to talk about 3 of the applications that she found helpful.
Hello, everyone. The first application I found helpful, or the extension, is Auto Highlight. And in order to get this onto your toolbar, You do need to go to the Google Chrome store just to get the extension to add. But I'm going to show you, it will look like a little highlighter when we get to the page. The main focus here that I thought was helpful for students was that it allows them to get the important information right away on any articles that you've assigned. Teachers, it allows for different levels of access, because as you see here, it changes the highlighting coverage. So the first time you click on the highlighter, it will show a small amount of information, and then you click again, it'll show another even more, and then even more with the third click. So this, to me, allows teachers to provide access to all students, and in keeping with that UDL frame of mind, that we're providing options for all kinds of learners, even learners, you know, they didn't know that maybe highlighting was a great tool for them. It's allowing them to learn new ways of learning, as we're all learning, myself included. So this is auto highlight, and let me just show you here. I pulled up an article about mind, body, and this is, I'm going to turn this off because I didn't turn it off from last time. That's a different one. So up here is the highlighter up here on my toolbar. And all I do is I'm going to, as you can see, there's nothing highlighted here. It's like a magic trick. I find it very helpful. One click of my highlighter, and we've got this just a little piece about research and how it facilitates, how exercise facilitates the brain's readiness to learn. And I feel that's very important. If I click it again, it's going to give me some of those students that need more information, or that at a different level, they need more information to gather. And then once again, it will highlight even more in depth into the article. Once I click it, it goes back to normal. Just wanted you to see how easy that is to use and to help your students access information that you want them to know. Okay. The second extension that I chose is Move It. And back to the article, that's why I chose that article, getting our brains ready to learn in these difficult times. You know, we might want to think about moving before we sit down and start our lessons for the day. But this is, and teachers, you may understand too, that having a brain break is a good thing for all learners and for yourselves and for families to have a break. So it's okay to have a break. It gets this extension gets you up and active while spending that time on the computer that we're not always used to doing. And it gives, some of our students need that visual example to integrate those breaks into their day. Down below, here's just an example of one of the breaks that they give. And it's allowing you to use both sides of the brain, this one. I like to think of, you know, it's different for all things. All the breaks are different. So one of them is do 15 jumping jacks. But what if you have a student that is uncoordinated and can't do 15 jumping jacks? You can have them just do legs only to start to learn, or just do arms only. So that's just an accommodation that accesses all learners to be able to move. And of course, you can always call me for more accommodations on different activities, whether it's this one or the other one. I just wanted to show you here that this is where you'll find the icon, and you're able to put this on your toolbar up at the top. It says Move It when you hover over it. You can set the exercise intervals. So depending on how often your student, I think this is good You know, maybe you have to start off at 5 seconds. You've got a real fidgety student and they need to, parents, they need to have that brain break a lot more quickly than others. You know, and then maybe you can back off and move it to 10 the next week or something. So you can turn it on and off your computer if you want to. It has this enable button, you just click it. And so that would pop up on my computer, no matter what I was doing, whether I was on Facebook or YouTube, or if I was working on an assignment. Okay, I'm gonna turn it off for now so it doesn't pop up for us, but it's a very easy app to use, and I think it's so very important for all of us to keep that movement in our days, that we're home together, and I feel like the family that exercises together stays healthy together. Okay, the third extension that I chose was Open Dyslexic Font for Chrome. And I chose this one because it seems to be something that we, kind of a topic, or if you will, that comes into our office a lot about questions and training. So I did find this one very interesting because it does, well, it might increase readability for some. And even as I was browsing through it, it seems to kind of help me. And it overrides all fonts in web pages. And it actually draws your eye to the bottom of letters, so they're not flipped or turned. And even if you don't have a reading disability or diagnosed with one, it could be a good option for any student or all students in your classroom. They might find it interesting. Again, this one, you do need to go to the Chrome store to download. For some reason, it's not accessing through our Eric Kurtz article. So just know that. I wanted to show you, and you kind of saw on my highlighter, this article. And here's the O up at the top for Open Dyslexic Font for Chrome. And this happens to be a very good article if you're interested in reading it. So all I have to do with this article, or any article that you may have or a student, is to go here and enable Open Dyslexic. And it'll turn all the written text into this heavily weighted, or they say gravity in quote, letters. So your eye is visually drawn to the letters. So it makes it a lot more easy to read. And as you see here, coming soon, they're going to enable an overlay, which sometimes has been proven to help students with their reading by providing different colors to the written word. So, and to take that off, you just click that button off and it's out of there. Okay. So just looking at that for students, increasing readability with or without a specific learning disability. Teachers, it provides options for all learners to access and create more readability. For, I'm going backwards, sorry about that. For assignments and parents, it may help with frustration levels within the home as you're helping your students do their homework. And now I'm going to turn it over to Vanessa.
All right, everybody, so bear with me as we switch screens. All right, everybody. So After taking a look at Eric Kurtz's article for Google Chrome extensions, I went ahead and I selected 3 of them. The first one was Read and Write for Google Chrome. So to access Read and Write for Google Chrome, you may click on this link and it will take you directly to the Chrome Web Store. I will walk you through the process of searching, adding, and accessing. But before we do that, I want to point out key features of Read and Write for Google Chrome. These are the availability of text-to-speech, text and picture dictionaries, as well as word prediction. So you can do either a Google search for Google Chrome Web Store, or simply click on this link, which will direct you to search results, and it'll pop up right at the top. As you can see, for me, it shows a green banner that says added and rate it. However, for you, it will give you the option to add to Chrome if you do not have it installed, and in your toolbar above. As you can see by me hovering here, it shows you that I already have Read and Write installed, and that's that little purple icon / logo with the RW. So what Read and Write does is it allows you to really do a variety of things that relate to reading and reading supports. Let's pop open Eric Kurtz's blog post on Control-Alt-Achieve, topic being Chrome extensions for students. So if we take a look at this article, I know that it is pretty lengthy. And let's say this article was assigned to me and I'm a struggling reader. So I want to read the entire content, but I need some supports in place. What Read and Write does is it allows you to access a line reader and it reads it to you out loud. By combining the use of both, students are allowed to be engaged with the reading without losing track of where they're going and without really becoming so exhausted with sounding out words, with decoding, with paying attention to punctuation, which are things that a lot of our struggling readers struggle with, and are actually able to focus on the content and then develop comprehension through it. So let me open up Read and Write, and I will call your attention to the menu of supports available. You'll notice that some of them are colored in and some of them are grayed out. The grayed out ones are those premium features available with a paying subscription. However, those that are available with a free trial, you get a 30-day free trial upon signing up, are very useful as well. So if you look at this first icon, it gives you hover speech, where you are able to hover over what you want read. You click it and you hover, and it should be able to read it to you. If that's not something you're looking for, if you're looking for the entire text to be read to you, you simply select play and where you want it to start. By clicking stop, I stop the read aloud and the line reader. The line reader really allows us to focus on our attention on what text is being read, but at the same time, we are processing auditorily what is being said to us while also following along and practicing our own reading skills. An added feature to Read and Write is this over here. So you see the little icon with a child and a book. This is a practice reading aloud tool. And by clicking on it, it'll pop open a new window where the same page you were looking at is displayed in a more reader-friendly way. And you'll notice that it'll give you a microphone to record. So students can practice fluency by clicking on the little microphone and being able to read the article. Another use of this is you could upload maybe some fluency passages for students and have them submit to you once that is done. The instructions are very clear and concise, It tells you to click the record button, then to click stop when you're done, use the play to listen to how you did. The ability to re-record as much as you want is such a support when lowering affective filters of our students, so they can have as many practice reads as they want. Then they can send the button to share their awesomeness with their teacher. So as you can tell, Read and Write for Google Chrome is incredibly useful for students in a variety of ways. Google Keep is another Google extension that I am recommending that we take a look at, especially as we consider the needs of different learners. We know that some of our students don't just necessarily struggle with academics, but sometimes struggle with executive functioning skills. And I'm not talking about students who are receiving special education services or on a 504 plan. I'm talking about all students. And by all students, I mean me. I'm a learner and I struggle with keeping myself organized. And one of the ways that I find myself becoming better organized with electronic resources or things that I find on the web is by using Google Keep. With Google Keep, you are able to save URLs, texts, and/or images, as well as take notes on saved content, add tables to your notes, and automatically save all to one location, that being your Google Keep. If you are a district or a school site or a person that relies on Google Apps for education, you know that you can have access to Google Keep through the waffle. If you are confused as to what the waffle is, do not fret. I will explain in a little bit. So you can access Google Keep by clicking on the link to the Google Chrome Web Store. It will open up directly to the page where you can install to your toolbar. In my case, again, it shows with the green banner added and rate it. For you, it will just give you the option to add to Chrome if you don't have it there already. Once you download it and install it, it will show up here. Right now it's grayed out because this is not available for the Google Chrome Web Store, but it will be available for all other websites. Let's go back to the original article that this webinar is based on. So here we go. We're back at Control-Alt-Achieve. Let me close up my Google Read and Write. And now I'm going to look at my toolbar, and now I see that my Google Keep icon is no longer grayed out, but now it's a bright orange, yellow, yellow, orange. So if you notice, by hovering on it, it tells me that it is linked to my Google account. So whenever I need to access this article, once I add it to Google Keep, all I need to go is to the corresponding Google account. So let's see what happens if I click Google Keep on this web page. Boom. It automatically opens a pop-up that gives me the web address of the article that I'm looking at. It gives me the title, and then I added this piece of information before on a prior session. So let's try it with a different article so that you can see what this would look like. Let me close this up. So let's say I'm looking for an article on assistive technology. Click, tons of hits. I have some articles here. Let's click on this one. I'm interested on this one because I know that families are not just caregivers right now, but they're also supporting with the education. So I want to see what information might be there that is helpful. I'm going to save to keep. It gives me the title. It gives me the web address. And it allows me to take a note. So the title is Assistive Technology. And my note will say resources and ideas for families working with students that have specific needs. Oftentimes we save articles or we bookmark them and we have no idea why. This extension allows you to make a note as to why you saved it. And not only that, it also allows you to add a label. So in the future, if you're searching for particular articles that you saved, you're able to access them just by searching by label. So I'm going to add it to assistive technology. I'm going to add another label and I'm going to title it, let me title it Resources for Families. Enter, and it already labels it. And I want to also add another tag, meaning uh, teacher to school, teacher to home connection. So I've added those labels already. When I'm done, I simply click on the keep icon to make it go away. Now earlier I talked about accessing the waffle. So if you go to your drive, you see your little waffle here. I click on that. I scroll down to keep, and all my keep notes are here. Now, this last one that I selected is this article right here, pinned up at the top. Title of the article, web address, why I saved it, and how I labeled it for future access. I can set up reminders to go back to look at it. I can add a collaborator on this note. I can change the color to help organize the data. I can add images that support the information here, or I can archive it. If you click on the ... it gives you additional options. Google Translate. Finally, my third choice is more centered towards supporting families and the families of students that are English language learners. If you take a look at the icon right here, it's the same icon you will see for Google Translate. Google Translate will allow you to highlight or right-click on a section of text, as well as to translate an entire page from one language to another. This resource is helpful for all, but especially now for students whose parents' primary language is not English, and they're helping them navigate websites and assignments posted online that are dependent on accessing text that might be in English. So how can this parent really support when they don't have the context in English, but they might have it in Spanish? So in order to process the information, it could be done in the primary language, with the parent or any other support at home, and then be able to use additional tools to then submit their assignment in English. Google Translate is a tool to help them do just that. You may access Google Translate by following the link here. We click on it. It takes us to the Chrome Web Store and it allows us to install it onto our toolbar. Again, same thing I keep mentioning. For me, it shows as added and rated. For you, it will give you the option to add to Chrome, and then we'll direct you on steps to have it installed to your toolbar. As you can see on mine, it's active already. If we go back to the assistive technology article, I can simply click on Google Translate. It gives me the option to select text and drop it into this box and then click translate, or I can translate the entire page. By clicking on it, I see that this toolbar popped up at the top. I have the option to select a language. I'm going to go to Spanish. Eyesight, don't fail me now. There you are. And it will translate the entire article into Spanish. Let's say I'm done with that one and I have another article to read because I'm reading from multiple sources. I find my second article, hit Google Translate, translate this page. Since the last translation was in Spanish, it automatically switches it to Spanish. But if you have to support additional students with different language needs and you have a student who speaks Korean, you could click Korean and it will translate the entire article into Korean. Once you are done, you can go back to show original and your text returns to the original. So a very useful tool for students, teachers, and their families that might have a primary language other than English. With that, we would like to thank you for your time and attention today and for the work that you're doing from home, not just the teaching, not just the additional supports that you're providing through remote learning, but also with completing all of the other jobs that we have to do from home now, like being a parent, being a caregiver, being a chef, being an activities director, housekeeping, all of it. We thank you for your time and attention once more, and please feel free to contact us via email or accessing our resources at our website, icoe.org/SELPA. We thank you so very much for your time and your attention today. Have a great day.
Thank you.